Hi everyone, and welcome to Marianne's Mystic Mentions with me, Marianne. Welcome to your beautiful July mid-month reading now with the featured sign of fiery, optimistic, truth-seeking, adventurous, freedom-seeking Sagittarius. One of my faves. It's just a sign that I've always associated with and has come into my life, my entire life, as I look back into, and even into the present time. So I always say that because it's true, but I love all signs. I just have some kind of an interesting, beautiful, well, I know what it is. I have a fire sign, moon sign, and so that's an attraction right there. And your moon is your emotions and how you see things. It's your deepest part of you. You know, sometimes people don't know, but you feel it. And that coordinates really well with my fellow fire sign, Sagittarius. And Leo, because guess what? We are in Leo season, absolutely, but we also are having the new moon in Leo, and it started officially not quite, maybe 10 minutes ago now, at 1:55 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I don't know, I get very excited every year. This is a beautiful, beautiful new moon. It represents new beginnings. That's what new moons do often. Whereas the full moons represent the culmination of things, which in turn bring new things when you end something, of course. But when it's the new moon in Leo, of course, the characteristics predominantly are strength, recognizing our courage, our capabilities, wanting to be seen and shine and to do our very best. You know, the sun rules Leo, and I mean, it's the brightest, most shiny, incredible star in the galaxy. It brings us warmth, it brings us vitality, it brings all the things that we really need on this planet, right? It's essential. And so there's that, but it also absolutely stimulates ideas for creativity, artistry, all the things that I know. Any Leo I've ever known is, if not in the acting field and an amazing actor, some sort of artistic creative endeavor is, and creative can be in any form, of course, but you know, they like to be center stage. They like to be, you know, they have a large, very confident air about them. They're teachers, and they are passionate as a fire sign. And the other thing that would be really important with this new moon, and that would be highlighted, would be children. And it could be your own children, it could be talk of children, depending on what phase you are in your life, or grandchildren for those that are, you know, waiting for their children to have children. Could be happening. Never know. Now, the other aspect could be recognizing and keeping your inner child alive, because it's essential for a better, happier life, you know. And I'm not really referring to the child that was, though that's always somehow a part of us. If there are issues and things that you felt stuck about, I think this would be an amazing time to be able to talk with that child part of you and say, okay, this is now, that was then, new beginnings, let's go forward with just new optimism, new thought processes, new perspectives. So it's illuminating, it's excellent. I know there's shadow aspects of everything in our lives, our personalities, every characteristics of every sign. I'm saying let's go for the gusto on this one, because Jupiter is in alignment with this. Now, yes, Jupiter, which has been in the sign of Aries, the other fellow fire sign, since March 10th, is stationing retrograde today. So it's interesting that that is happening. But have no fear. Yes, when planets, and this is an outer planet, it affects us, it definitely affects us, but this happens every time at this year, where the outer planets, one by one, retrograde for 4, sometimes 5 months. The energy does wane, but it still is there. And Jupiter is the benevolent planet, you know, that visits us every 12 years, each sign. So if you have a placement of Leo, and you might want to look that up, it's super cool. It could be your sun, moon, rising, Venus, any other of the personal planets, Mars, Jupiter, Venus, Mercury. I have to do a side note, there is a square between Mars and Mercury today, just putting it out there. So there's, to add to the mix, I apologize, I'm wrong. Mercury and Uranus. Uranus, the unpredictable planet, you know, the fiery, ambitious, very freedom-seeking, let's do it my way, and let's make it right, and let's be technology savvy, because we want to continue to grow and to share that with everybody. And, you know, Uranus is the ruling planet of Aquarius. And so a lot of Aquarians you'll meet actually are very keen on the newer ways to see life, and, you know, the new technology and the latest gadgets, and then being able to express that and share that and teach that to the world at large, because they're humanitarians and they care greatly about change that'll affect all of us in a positive way. So I digress a little bit, but not really, because the opposing sign, or the oppositional sign to Leo, is Aquarius. So there's always kind of that connection involved. But having said that, that's a portion of it, and Mercury is, of course, the mind and the fastest planet, and so maybe this video will come out, cross the fingers. If it doesn't, it's because of what's going on, but I'm going to hope and put out those beautiful positive energies that this will come through, because I only have one after this left, and I had to do a little more of a delay. But for me as a reader, I just kind of go with the flow and how it's working out. Usually it takes me half a month to get through all the signs. But I feel extremely optimistic about this new moon, and for all the reasons I've mentioned. And also the fact that, you know, I heard this just recently. A very well-known astrologist said, in any new moon, you want to be sure and write down your deepest, most important intentions of what you'd like to see transpire between this new moon and the next new moon, which is, you know, next year, same time. And that's actually about 13 moons from this moon. So apparently you can ask for 13 wishes and watch them slowly but surely unravel and transpire. And the more you believe it, the more it absolutely will happen. Just putting that out there, because I use that every single time, and I love checking out the boxes of, yes it did, and okay, still waiting, it'll happen, believing it. So what I'm going to do, though, for you beautiful Sagittarians, because I know you got stuff to do and places to go, I will do my normal format, more or less. I do plan on changing it. I'm kind of really leaning in the direction of having just my hands, because I'm noticing that being kind of a cool thing. I don't necessarily like the distraction of this, for better or worse. You know, it does tend to distract, and I love just being able to bring out the messages. That's the whole point of my channel, bringing the spiritual recognition that comes to me, and then relaying that to you, and of course through my beautiful divinations of tarot and oracle and various ones that I use throughout my time here on YouTube. So the first thing I like to do is pick the love connection. Now, I just spoke to somebody today, and they said, I see your channel, but I'm not really drawn to the love part. And I said, wait a minute, it's not just romance, and I want to make sure that everybody knows that. You don't have to be in a relationship to read about the love connection, because it's all inclusive, and it could absolutely be a family member or a new person entering into your life. That's an important part of your life in some capacity. It could certainly be an animal, it could be a plant, like I always say. It could be just this incredible recognition of your self-love that's growing and blossoming with this Leo influence. For heaven's sake, if it's ever going to grow, it'll grow during a Leo season. Because they love themselves, and they care about how they're seen, what they're doing, you know, and that's how you want to be. And then people want to be that as well, and it's like attracting like, and that sort of thing, the law of attraction. So that's basically what my love connection is about. So pick it through spirit right in front of you. And you may not know this person or energy, but it could be something within your own self that you feel more drawn to this month of July and then onward. So you actually have Taurus. Now, this doesn't surprise me, and I think I did it last month. I always keep records, but it's interesting. There's been quite a few of the Leo-Taurus combination, and it makes sense to me. I mentioned the impact and the importance of, you know, Uranus, though I feel like the Jupiter and Leo new moon will kind of outweigh that square I mentioned, which could be a little bit more, you know, challenging in some ways, but challenges are what, you know, make us move forward, as the best way to describe it. So it's not always a bad thing. It could be an excellent thing that you're so glad happened. Otherwise, you wouldn't have made the move or the choice and so on and so forth. But Uranus has been and will be in the sign of Taurus until 2026. And Taurus is the earth energy. Taurus is the practical side of us, the part that wants to do things systematically. It's a fixed sign. We're talking long-term investments, long-term relationships, or whatever the case may be for you in your life, you know, building your resources, your creativity, as I said, that will help with the resources, new ideas for second income, maybe, you know, something that's fun and that you find you're actually really good at. So there you go, Leo. The two of you are definitely fixed signs. You're definitely strong. And when the two of you get in a room together, unless you're on the same page, it can be quite challenging, but it can also be one of the most beautiful, powerful connections you'll ever have. And it means long-term success, because you're always thinking success anyway, as is Taurus. And they also are known as the money sign, ruled by Venus. There's a lot of sensitivity, there's a lot of intuition there. You're all about the passion part of life. So it's a beautiful combination, friend, whatever it may be. Maybe you know precisely who I'm speaking of. Or maybe you'll be meeting this person. But also know that the latest season, which lasts about 18 months of the series of eclipses, which we have continuously for lessons and North Node versus South Node, for looking forward and moving towards things that'll better ourselves, and releasing the South Node and the parts that we need to let go of. Well, the North Node eclipses that'll be again in the latter part of October and November are also once again Taurus and Scorpio through next year. So Taurus has a lot of influence in our lives right now. And I think it has a lot to do with what's happening in the world and the earth, and possibly earthquakes more and things like that, not to put any frightening aspects to it, but it does concern the earth. But I want to look at it as our security and being smarter and more sensible, and, you know, being guided in that way with this new moon. So there you go with your love connection, and somehow something that will be a valuable influence for you this month and onward. Now, I have changed up the 4 categories. It's usually the 4 weeks I went to, but since they're basically gone, it wouldn't matter because the energies will last throughout the month and longer. We did have the new full moon that was really beautiful and powerful on the July 13th in Capricorn. It's also a very earthy, you know, success oriented, you know, let's really utilize our time properly. They're Saturn ruled, a very, you know, kind of constricted, but very let's get the job done attitude. And so maybe you've been feeling that a little bit more. You are destined to reach your goals, but have fun at the same time. It is your birthday season. Come on. It's all about parties and celebrating and friends and socializing. And there's nothing wrong with that too. Just finding that mix and that balance. But what I'm going to do is change them as I did for the last, I think, 1, possibly 2. And for the final one tomorrow with Capricorn. And the first energy is always going to be the overall energy for July. And what it is for you, beautiful Sagittarians, besides everything I've mentioned, we start with the King of Pentacles. There you go. There's the Taurus. You can't make this stuff up. So there's the Taurus, and then you got your incredible new moon in another fellow fire sign like yours. Well, the kings are the mature, right? They are the masters. They are the masculine when it's the king versus the queen. But doesn't mean it has to be a man or a woman. It's that part of us. We have both the duality of masculine and feminine. The comforts, they have been acquired. They have been through work and determination. And now you can actually sit and actually turn around and say, I did this. Take the deep breaths and pay it forward, basically. Looking at this card, and this is the beautiful deck of the Gilded Tarot by Sarah Machado, one of my favorites. I change decks every month. Feeling very accomplished. Feeling good physically, spiritually, mentally, all, you know, holistic. The whole enchilada, as they say. One of my favorite foods. So yes, and I see that new moon kind of in the background. It's not like a crevice, but you get the idea. It's growing and it's fulfilling itself as the new moon continues to grow. So don't be surprised if finances are actually on the upswing because of your hard, intentional work and manifestations, because we manifest every moment. That's a beautiful overall energy for you, Sagittarius. And then, of course, you being the half man, half horse satyr that has an arrow that just points it to a direction you want and absolutely will reach that goal. You are the ninth house. You are the, well, for me, you are, because I'm a Libra. I apologize. Not for everybody. It depends on the placement. You represent philosophical endeavors, higher learning, you know, absolute truth, travel. My gosh, you love to travel. Foreign cultures, you know, just accepting your immutable sign. So you like to be adaptable and open to ideas of all sorts. And you are extremely intelligent and capable and willing and friendly and caring and independent. Yeah. You love the freedom. So I would imagine that's a good deal of why things fall into place, other than the fact that you do have Jupiter as your ruling planet. So that's not a bad thing, okay? Not in the least. So the second category is about your finances, you know, and how things are maybe being affected by this new moon in the month of July. Okay. Okay. Well, it's interesting because this is the major arcana, the Hangman. And basically what it's saying is that things have been at a standstill in some ways. Do keep in mind this is the major arcana that represents the sign of Pisces, who also has the ruling planet of Jupiter. More modernly, Neptune, but it happens to be that Pisces, Neptune is in the sign of Pisces and will be for considerably still long period of time. But there's several aspects to this. Now, it's maybe a stall that's happened. Perhaps you instigated the stall, that you thought, okay, I've looked at it from both sides now, because it's all about a different perspective. The man, after all, is hanging upside down. But quite frankly, when you put it upright, he's in suspended animation of real kind of spiritual awakening, if you will, just feeling at peace. There's great trust. He's not uncomfortable. He's in a state of maybe meditation, allowing to open his mind, this high philosophical, like I said, aspect of Sagittarius, and deciding that, yeah, that maybe I was looking at it in a way that wasn't for my highest good, whatever that may be. Could be the finances, could be the relationship, could be an animal you might pick out and you're about to adopt. With the children, like I mentioned, with the Leo influences, huge with the new moon. Either way, this is positive, and it lets me know that all in good time, and there's no need to rush. All answers are always answered, especially when we ask and we're quiet and silent to listen and hear. So that is the financial thing. You have something coming in, but you know about it, because this King is clearly letting you know that money is available and will be coming, if not already here. But there's other pieces still to be revealed, and that could be for an array of different reasons. And you're aware of this, and you're okay with it, because you realize that it's something that you're familiar with. You've gone through this before. You don't seem to be sweating it by any means. So I like that as well. All in due time. Surrender and release. And the third category is that of, yeah, it is about romance. It is about possibilities if you choose that. It could be about self-love. Remember the importance of self-love. I'm still learning and knowing that it's amazing to feel good about you and accept you exactly as you are. Which, by the way, I know Leos don't usually have a problem. Not all of them. There's always something, you know, different elements and different, not every sun sign Leo has every other planet in, you know, in Leo. So there may be other placements that take away that confidence. But I feel like for the most part, you are an optimistic person that even if you have the challenges, you're like, okay, what's next? Let's keep it moving. You're not one to dwell and really harbor much into, negativity, which is phenomenal. And that's how people get over things quicker. I wish I were able to do it sometimes in my past, but I've already done that and we've been through that and we're not going there. And I'm learning and I don't want to do it anymore. So that's that. But this is the romantic possible aspect of your life. You have the Three of Pentacles. Well, maybe romance with money, because what I see here, the three is beautiful when it comes to the Pentacles. It kind of skips its the numerology, because three represents mastery, something you're very, very good at. And it wasn't something you necessarily did completely on your own. Like, you could be in a corporation where you're working with others, close knit, they're advisors, they're people that you advise, but there's definitely financial rewards for hard work put in, detail oriented. This is an earth element once again. And so whatever's happening is it's just continually letting things grow and grow, okay? And you have your eye on the prize, and there's the fire in the background, that fire in your belly, if you will, keeping you going, keeping you motivating, and with this new moon, honestly, this is absolutely perfect. So I really like this a lot. Maybe, and I always say, no matter who you are, if somebody comes to you, you want to be extremely cautious and do your due diligence as to the information, and then maybe it's about investing and the proper investments for long-term returns. But at the same time, accepting help and accepting the possibility, the different perspective, as I said, and that's a major arcana, so that's a very important aspect of your reading. So I like that a lot. And maybe that money will help you to decide about a family member, or the pet you want to adopt, or the addition you want to put on your home, and various things like that matter to you on this earthly plane, because everything, we're three-dimensional here, all that stuff, material things matter. It's just to what degree, is what's important to keep into perspective, right? And that's an individual thing. So the last, of course, is what I love is the category of surprises and wishes. And this one came out. It just came out into my hand. And it is the three again. So there's 2 3s, and 3 is 6. And, 6 is actually representing the planet of Venus. And I already mentioned to you how there's a strong tie with Venus, because Uranus is in Taurus, and Uranus is very big in the planetary aspects of things, and will be throughout this year into 2023. Also because it's in the sign of Taurus, the money sign. 3 of Wands is you, though, baby. It's the fire. It's the dreams and the wishes and the spirit and the passion behind what you do. It's collaboration, though. Once again, it's looking out and seeing your ships are coming in. This wait is not going to be for long. And I don't even think you're concerned about it. If anything, you may be even just taking a vacation right now, because you're like, okay, well, I know what's going on there, and it's going to be a while. So I'm going to have some fun, and I'm going to be thinking and tossing around some things and having some conversations that I think will be pertinent to my dreams and goals and things ahead. And I love the peace of the dove. You feel at peace. You don't feel concerned and worried. And there is this agitation they talk about with the Uranus square to, Mercury and everything, and the conversation and everything. Let that go. I'm not buying into it. I'm buying into this new shiny, shiny Leo moon of confidence and courage and strength and capability that surpasses anything that this other little aspect may create. So, and green can be money, right? Green is heart, though. Green is working from your heart. You do care greatly about truth and justice and things like that. So whatever it is, it's going to be very important that it's for everybody involved. It's uplifting, and it's for the highest good of everybody involved. So beautiful, beautiful reading. Very inspiring. Definitely having to do with money and the growth of money and the proper, like I said, investments for long-term investment. That's again the Taurus. It's not about short time things. They're always talking long lifetime events. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Sagittarius. And I'm not surprised. It is a great time for you now. This is when we've got the fiery, elements happening, which is your element. It's always going to be easier than with other elements. Though the air is really a beautiful one for you too. Just putting that out there. I'm going to finish the reading now with your rune. And I love this because this is another oracle I've been interested in since, honestly, 1997. I started looking into it and watching a couple of amazing rune readers, and I want to be that. I want to know it all by heart and know genuinely, intuitively what it is it's saying in reference to readings or on their own, and the synchronicities. So for you, what did I do? For heaven's sakes, they're right here. Yours today is, is this, it's an H, but it doesn't always mean it is in the English, this is a different alphabet for sure. But I want to say Hila, but let me just see, because I'm still learning, like I said. It's okay. Is this the one right there? It is. Hagalaz, sorry. It's a lot longer. It's an H, though, which is good, because a lot of them appear to be a letter that they're not. But let me read to you what it says. Letter H, Hagalaz. Rune number 9. 9 in numerology, simply put, is a culmination in the ending of something for the new to begin. And I can't express how often that's been brought up in your reading, first and foremost, so I love that. The theme is hailstorm. Okay, the keywords are disruption, distress, and storm. Setback, hidden blessing, unexpected. Now that, wow, that is everything that Uranus can be on the shadowy side. Okay, so knowing this, and using that incredible optimism and your incredible luck being ruled by Jupiter, you can turn that around in a heartbeat and say, I'm forewarned, I get it. I won't let that occur in my life. And we can do that as well. We can say, I know I'm being told this is a possibility. So if I see angst and people acting out of sorts, I'm going to remove myself and that won't happen as much. Promise. Magical working, recover from a crisis. Perhaps you know what this is, or you've already experienced it, or we'll keep it simple, okay? Finding the hidden blessing. Transformation, absolutely. Accepting nature's power. This kind of makes me think of the mention I did of the natural disasters that happen, and just being aware and alert, of course. Sometimes they happen more in other areas, but these days, who knows? So that's kind of a cool message of love. It's always from love. Unexpected destructive forces beyond your control, crises with a hidden benefit, a blessing in disguise. This keeps repeating itself. Unexpected change, ruined plans, sudden crises. Seek the cloud's silver lining. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. Okay, well, I didn't see this coming, but because I was just so, pro, hey man, everything is hunky-dory and roses, Uranus thought he would let me know otherwise, that you can always at least be aware of this at any time. Which, by the way, have we not experienced this in the last 2 years? This shouldn't come to as a shock to everybody, but how you handled it and how you received it, how you react to it, that is up to you. That is fully up to you. So being aware that, yes, this happens, in every aspect. It's happened to me my entire life. Things have come about and I'm like, what? In a moment's time, right? But let's not focus on that. Let's just know that, okay, I will have my guard up. I will be checking the different perspective of things, but I will be calm about it. And I will be guided, because we always are guided. And I love this reading anyway. And it's just kind of making that balance, right? It's that temperance, which is your sign in the Tarot. So that is Hagalaz, interesting as it is. Let's finish with an optimistic, beautiful reading for you from the Mastery of Love deck I've had for many, many moons, like 15 years, by Don Miguel Ruiz. And love is where it's at, we don't have to necessarily be married or in love with somebody to have an incredibly fulfilling life. But I don't imagine life without some form of love. I don't think it could exist, right? It's just, there's too much in our hearts that want to just naturally, as souls in this incarnate, to want to express. It just, regardless of how you go about it. So I do love love. I love feeling it. I love receiving it. I love giving it. And so this one comes to mind right off the bat because it's the first one on top. Respect each other's dreams. I have picked this out before, but it wanted to come up again. Not for you per se, but, well, it's really simple. In a relationship, there are two dreamers with two different dreams. You need to accept the differences that exist between the two dreamers. You need to respect each other's dreams. And I absolutely believe you do. Sagittarians I know certainly do. I mean, yeah, they have their fiery kind of, hey, this is it. But they also have been very compassionate and like, yeah, let's try that, and I think that's who you are. But just bearing and keeping that in mind to give that beautiful, reciprocity, give and take, compromise kind of energy that I feel from that card. So I hope you liked your reading. It has so much potential and so much beauty, and just really revel in this time. It's fantastic. August is even better. Do me a favor, if you do like what you're hearing, push the subscribe button for me. Do subscribe and like and share, thumbs up, push the notification bell. My times are always different. I will be back for August. I certainly hope you will be too. Have an amazing, beautiful time. Enjoy your parties, enjoy your rest, enjoy your prosperity. And yeah, thank you. Until next time, bye for now.